Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're well, and I hope you've already enjoyed two of our fantastic shows of the launch of this brand new collection from Carnation Crafts. We do this at least once a month, and we bring you a brand new collection that's exclusive to us at Carnation. You can't find it anywhere else for quite some time to come. I'm Dave Bradford. They draft me in once a month to bring you a new collection. It's my guilty pleasure each month, and we've had a massive response to this. The Glamour of Winter is what this is called, and again, Carnation Crafts have hit the jackpot. They've done it again. They brought amazing dyes, amazing artwork, amazing vignettes that you can print off right now. And of course, you're watching us either on Facebook, either on carnationcrafts.co.uk, or possibly even on YouTube. Now, if you're not watching us on YouTube, could I just say something that it will be a really good idea if you go onto YouTube and search for Carnation Crafts and actually or subscribe. There's no money involved or anything like that. Just basically subscribe to the YouTube channel, and then you'll get notified in the days and weeks to come when we're going to be doing shows live on YouTube. So it's just a way of you getting the information from us as to what we're doing, what we're up to, what's coming next, all that sort of thing. It's completely free of charge. We don't have any of your personal details or anything like that, but you can watch us that way as well going forward. So yeah, if you're on Facebook watching us there or on the website, have a little look at YouTube if you've got the time to do it. Lovely Carla is with me.
Hiya!
Thank you for lunch, love.
You're quite welcome. It was quite delicious.
It was rather lovely.
It was quite delicious.
Let me show you the collection. Let me show you what this is about. Now, to start off with, the heart of the collection is always the card die, and that's what we've got here, the frosted oak card shape. That is the kind of main focal point of the show, or of the actual collection to start off with. But then with the glamorous side of things, the glamour of winter, what do you think of? You think of glamorous shoes, you think of glamorous handbags. Well, we've got those for you, of course, as well. Now, there's another very important part to this collection that you've not seen before, and it's this. Now, you look at that and you kind of think, what's that supposed to be then? Is it a belt? Is it? Well, no, it's actually a pop-up mechanism. So now this is included in the collection. All of the elements in this collection can be a pop-up inside the card, but you can of course use the mechanism on any other card you're making. Not just Carnation Crafts dies, but any other die you may have got can become a pop-up. And I'll just show you here. This is Janine Dawson's card that I just want to show you. This is a double pop-up. Look at this. You open up the card, the whole thing basically jumps out to greet you, to say hello. I'll show you another one as well. Where's another pop-up? I've got another one over here. This is done by Janine as well. And here, look, watch this. How gorgeous is that? And the mechanism, all the kind of workings out, all the measurements, all that sort of thing, all the score lines, that's all included in the die. So now, whenever you're making a card, if you're looking for a new angle, a new style of card to make, pop-up cards always go down a treat. You can always charge a little bit more for a pop-up card, of course, as well, but that's included in this collection. And by the way, if you do want that on its own, I've got to let you know that the stock of it individually is going very, very fast indeed. Here it is, there's the pop-up. It is $17.99 and it's 221209. If that's all you want, then absolutely fine. It is available, it is in stock, but it is going incredibly quickly. But the main collection is where you get everything and you save the most money as well. Combined, this should be $162.92. Show price today, $124.99, but in actual fact, that's not the price. We have got a bit of a treat in store for you. There you've got your discount code, which is GOWCC10. So basically, GOWCC10, put that in the promo code box. When you get to checkout, you'll get £12.50 off that price, taking it down to around about £112. And it is available on ClearPay and also PayPal Pay in 3 if you want to spread the cost interest free as well. And by the way, this is the last collection on Carnation Crafts TV before Christmas that's exclusive. So if you fancy treating someone to this, give us a call for it today, or go on the website. That's the best place, carnationcrafts.co.uk. That's where you can order it. And I know loads of you have been saying that you've actually got notification that it's been shipped already if you ordered it on the earlier shows. And just a quick word before we hand over to Carla in a sec. If you want to see how the pop-up mechanism actually works, we demonstrated that in the earlier show this morning at 9 AM. So you can watch that back, a really in-depth demonstration as to how the pop-up will work for you. You can watch that show back on YouTube or indeed on Facebook if you want to a bit later. Carla, you all right, my love?
Yes. I'm a little bit sleepy after lunch, not going to lie. I feel like a little nana nap might be on the cards. So let's have a look at this collection. It's incredible, it's beautiful, of course it is, it's Carnation, we wouldn't expect anything less, but what they've done is capture kind of all those elements that we think of with winter, the frosty scenes, all of those things, but what they've done, and it's the power of the artwork, isn't it? When you look at the pieces, it actually looks like there is a frost on them. So they're so clever and they're so just delicious, all of the elements to it. So we'll have a look through the boards and then we'll get to demo. This is your main card shape. So this is the frosted oak leaf and it is stunning. It's so pretty. You can see all the frosty elements here. It's incredibly textural. So as you can see, you can use this independently or you can use it as a card shape. So it's got the base here to make your cards. I'm going to demonstrate this first this afternoon. So you can see you've got that, you've got your layers, and then you've got the actual leaf itself. Then you've got these other 4 leaves and they're different sizes and different shapes. So you've got the 4 that go around, so we can really start to build in those blooms. It's just super pretty when it's put together. Lots of different ways to play with it, and I think that is an absolute boon to have in your crafting arsenal.
And what other company gives you artwork for a leaf like that?
Crazy, isn't it? We've got the pop-up mechanism. Now, as Dave said, the 9 o'clock show this morning did have this in full shebang. I will try and demonstrate this again tomorrow for you. Yes, Miss Taz?
I'll put that in the chat so that everyone's got it.
In the community section on YouTube.
It's already there, but on the chat today,
Oh, okay. So we'll put links in for you on the chat on Facebook, and we have also got it on the community page on YouTube, so it saves you having to go searching for it.
Cool.
So just head to Carnation Crafts TV on YouTube, have a look in the community section, you'll find it there. While you're there, please do make sure you hit subscribe, and please do, there's a little bell on YouTube, it's just a tiny little bell. If you hit that, you will be given an alert and a notification every time we go live, just in case it's not like an advertised show and we're doing a quick tutorial, and it'll give you all the updates on that so you know when it's been. You don't have to watch it there and then. It does.
Yep.
And it doesn't cost you to subscribe either. So you've got your pop-up mechanism. So what this is obviously the mechanism to make all your pop-up cards going forward for all the different cards that you make. It doesn't have to be Carnation cards even. Any card that you make that uses a fold down the centre of your card. And when it opens, you can see that that raises forward. It's so clever. And you've got the little tabs at the side. Those tabs slot through. This creates the little slots for you. They slot through and they glue at the bottom. And you can see the tab coming out of here, and that creates your pop-up. All your dimensions are taken care of. You don't need to do any measuring. You don't need to do anything other than make sure you have a score line going down the centre of your card. That will take care of everything that you need, and that's the mechanism we have for the pop-up. We move on to the shoes and handbags, and these are so pretty. I'm fairly certain, looking at this, that I've got the anemone, but I kind of make up plant names, so we'll go with it and see what happens. But it's so pretty. You've got your stiletto heel, and I love all of this. It's like I don't know if I'm allowed to say that or not, actually, but Jean-Paul Gaultier, it's got that kind of feel to it, hasn't it? I don't want to say too much about it, but other shoes do exist, including my slippers. And you've got all of that gorgeous, gorgeous, glamorous element to it. And then you've got the beautiful handbag that goes with it. I like the fact that the handbags are kind of those larger, boxier handbags rather than being little clutch bags. It gives us a different way of crafting because we can slot things through, cut into them, and pull flowers from them. But these stole my heart so much. They're so pretty, and all 3 of them are just glorious.
So you get the anemone, you also get the clematis, and you also get the honeysuckle.
Yeah, so there's all 3. So they're just stunning. Corner elements are so important. So then we move on to this, which I think is the clematis. Is that correct? And I don't know the plant names. Carnation, no, I don't know them. So I don't think they're mad anymore. I think they were stopped being mad about 2 years ago. You've got this other beautiful shoe here. So all the elements that you see for the clematis then are referred to onto the shoe as well. These bits can all be sort of cut into. You can decoupage, you can add elements. So if you cut that twice and you start to build, so cut it, well, in fact, cut it 3 times. Where you've got it here, add your leaves back in on the top, then add the flower back in as well, and then start to just build with the flower on top. You'll get this beautiful dimension.
Now, we all think Nick and the team have been raiding Dawn Wheeler's closet, don't we? For these bags and these shoes.
I don't think that even Nick is brave enough to go into Dawn Wheeler's closet. So, yeah, all of those elements that you've got. And then we move on to the beautiful, beautiful, stunning white tote, which is just glorious. And then you have got your beautiful floral elements. They're so pretty, these. That gorgeous shoe, which doesn't have the stiletto this time. They did tell me what it was in the last one. Was it a kitten heel? Am I just making that up? It's got a heel on it. I don't know the words. It looks like a comfier one. That's all I can say.
Less precarious. If
I had to wear any of these shoes, and believe me, you would never find me in anything that girly because I don't own them. But if I did, that would be the heel I would opt for.
Yeah.
Super, super beautiful, just really gorgeous. Think of the cards you're going to make with these. With things like the bags, remember, you've got your base layer here, so you can make a card purely out of that bag. You can just add a sentiment to it. You can do the same with the shoe. And then on your corner element, you've got your split die, so you can do an over-the-edge card. So you get to play in different ways as well.
And also remember, normally you just get one colourway with the vignettes, the artwork, but today we're giving you actually 2 different colourways at no extra charge. So that's on the website, carnationcrafts.co.uk. You can print all that artwork off right now, marvel at the artwork, marvel at the colours, and that's absolutely free to print off right now, and your dies will be with you in the next few days.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also a free angel policy, so long as you cut whatever it is that you're making, put it through your die cutting machine. As soon as you've done that, you can sell it. So you can do whatever you like after that point. We've got the beautiful facet spray. I love this so much. So Carnation do these better than anyone I've ever seen. They are so delicate and so fine. It means that we can add the most, it's almost like having gypsophilia in a bouquet. It's got that kind of feel to it. They're so pretty. Textural backgrounds always give us an extra visual, and that's what these do. Carnation still provide the artwork for this, even though it's so fine and so delicate, and that means that we've got just that slight tint of colour on it, so it does give you a different element to your backgrounds, and it's just very textural. It's super pretty. And then we've got our beautiful frosted berries, which are just heartbreakingly gorgeous. I love the pop of colour. I love that you've got this really bright red and this really bright purple, and then the white that fits in with everything smoothly. So everything, it comes alive. As soon as you put these berries in, it comes alive. The golds of the leaves, it's just pretty, pretty, pretty. Moving on from that, we've got your crystallized wisp, which is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Those background pieces, those elements that we took into those floral bouquets. This is, listen, this, it doesn't matter which floral bouquet you use from Carnation, historically going back, be it seasonal or not, that will fit behind any of them perfectly. It's gorgeous.
And if you've got like an angel character or whatever, that could be an angel's wing, couldn't it? And you could flip it over, have a left and a right.
Could it indeed. There's so many ways of playing. Also, it can be snipped into, so if you want certain elements of it, absolutely feel free to do so. Different ways of playing to make more out of what you've bought. It gives us a bit more financial extension when we buy things from Carnation. And that, my friends, is the Glamour of Winter collection from
Superb.
Carnation.
Now, if you are on Facebook, hello Suzanne Page and Karen Vincent. As Taz was saying a few minutes ago, she's actually put the link on there that will show you the show that we did earlier on today, where we demonstrate, or Carla demonstrates, the fantastic pop-up mechanism, okay? But the collection, let me just show you again a few more of the finished cards from the brilliant design team. Pam Simpson, hello Pam, if you're watching at the moment, she's done this one. That's not a pop-up card. This is, as you can see, stunning, from Vera Bow. Hello Vera, thank you for doing another amazing card here. But for me, and I know for Carla and for Taz, the fact that you've now got the technology and the die to allow you to have pop-up elements in any card you make going forward makes this particular collection very, very special indeed. The dies are gorgeous, the artwork's amazing, with that extra bonus additional colorway for you to enjoy at our website. Before we go into demo, can I just quickly remind you though that we do have the perfect papers. Now, here we've got 48 sheets, 300 GSM, 6 colours and 8 of each. And if I just again at random pick up a card, let's just go for one at the bottom that I've not shown you yet. Let me just put that side by side there. You can see the colour of the shoe is identical to this particular claret colour of the perfect papers. We've got another pop-up in the middle of this one as well. You can see that the colours of the berries, for example, that's picked up with that perfect paper there. So if I just bring it in so you can see it a little bit better. All of these colourways work so well. So it does make sense actually to pop the Winter Perfect papers into your order today. $14.99 for all 48 sheets. And of course, if you're going for the main collection, it's P&P free. If you're watching us in the USA or other parts of the world, it's $4.95 postage for your main kit. And you'd be looking with the perfect papers at a maximum of $14.95 for your shipping and handling if you're in the USA today, and we can ship it to you as soon as we possibly can. Guaranteed pre-Christmas delivery, of course, as well. If you order it right now, it'll literally be leaving the warehouse within probably the hour if you place your order now. Lots of you messaged us earlier on to say that you actually got notification that you purchased it and that it's been shipped and it's on its way. So much excitement. Gorgeous collection. Last one exclusive to Carnation Crafts TV before Christmas. The next one will be in January, but you can't get this anywhere else at the moment other than here. And free P&P, of course, if you're watching us in the UK for it. We've also got the nesting dies. Now, these are great because normally nesting dies are one shape and you get lots of them. We get lots of them, but they're two different sizes of oval that you can see here with Carla.
Absolutely stunning. The concentric ovals, which Carnation have done. I hope they go further with these as well, because often when they find something that's just brilliant, we then get a step further with it. But I love them so much. The different elements of them so that we can turn things around, we can swap things. You've got the two different shapes of ovals. So the elongated oval there and the sort of more squat oval in the center. So we can really start to build and mix. This means we can get sort of apertures, we can do protruding layers. You can build in with all of your mats and layers and your card bases as well. You can use them as tags, you can use them as sentiment holders. There's a billion ways to play with them. We did work out earlier today that there are 28 dies in that one collection.
Wow.
So less than £1 for every single die in that. Nested dies, always your most important.
And they go down in 2mm increments, so they're incredibly fine, and the borders and the mats and layers that you can create are spectacular. That's new today. It's 221210, £27.99 if you fancy those, and of course we'll get those shipped out straight away as well if you'd like to order them right now. Fantastic.
Demo?
Let's do a demo.
Are we doing the demo
Yes.
thing? Are we doing it? Because we like to do the demos. Right, we're going to have a look at that leaf shape to make the main card. And we're just going to bring it all together because it's the one thing that we haven't done today. And I do want you to see it as a whole. I can't see you from that far away, but I can see what I'm working on. So that's like, look at the screen. I'm very tired. My eyes are very tired. So just so you know, we've got poorly children and it's been a day. So we've got the leaf shape here. I've just cut a little tab off the bottom of it so that I can stand it up. And the reason I've done that mainly is because I'm going to be putting weight on it. So where the stem is, I've just cut the little edge off at the bottom. If you're going to be putting weight on a Carnation card, first of all, it really does need to be cut on a 350 GSM. A lot of other companies that we make cards for, you can go with a lighter GSM, but with Carnation, we're building dimension, we're building texture. It's a different way of card making. It's a very specific way. So you want to have that extra kind of oomph on the card base that it's got. So it just means that when they get to the recipient, they'll just have that little bit more strength.
I mean, Carnation are so good at giving you really unique and really unusual card bases. Who'd have thought that leaf could actually be a card base? But it works. It works a treat.
They're just
Clever.
ridiculous, aren't they? I get sick of saying it but then they come out with the next piece of genius and you're just like, good Lord. They make the rest of us look ridiculous. Here we go. So we're just going to piece those together in that way. I've still got the end cut off the bottom of the two of those. And we've got the little mats and layers there in those beautiful papers. Now the purple is a perfect paper. And that's what Dave was saying to you earlier. Your perfect papers, just so you know, are the colours are picked. So the artwork is created in-house. Nick and the creative team, Nick's the creative director. They create the artwork first. And then when they come to make the papers, they colour pick. So this pinkish sort of line that you see in the centre is the colour that you're seeing in your tones here. And that's how everything is built. That's why people love Carnation so much, because you can't go wrong with Carnation. You're going to always make beautiful cards.
And it's
so
that
that's
attention to detail that makes Carnation stand
Yeah.
out from the crowd, isn't it?
Dave.
Shall I get down there?
Well, either that or I can.
Hang on.
I'll just leave Dave. I'm too old.
I'm 57. Can I get back up again?
I feel 90. I'm just saying.
There you go.
Give you a run for your money, Dave.
That was an experience.
Hey, it's all going wrong. Right, so we've got some wet glue there. That is the Carnation Crafts everyday glue, and we have got the everyday glue applicators. These are reusable. I do try and use new ones on the show. Listen, I'm supposed to use new ones so that they look clean and fresh, and then I look at my mat and think, why?
In the earlier show at 12 o'clock, we actually found a bit of a Billy bargain for you. Now, I hope they're still on the website at $4.99 for those glue applicators. They should be $9.99. There was a mistake and they were half price. I think they've left them at that half price. So $4.99 for 100 glue applicators. Yeah, they're still there. Yes, they're still there at $4.99.
They won't be by the end of today
know,
or by for tomorrow morning, just so you know.
Grab them now
while
while they're still there.
Yeah. So I'm just putting some everyday glue, so some wet glue down the centre of that stem. It's fast drying and it dries clear. You can already start to see it disappearing before your eyes. It's my favourite wet glue. So just on little places. You see how the shape fits absolutely perfectly.
Stunning.
You know what? I haven't got one, but if you just had a sentiment in the centre of that, I'm just going to be annoying. Sorry, Taz, I'm just going to turn that around just for a second. If all you had was a sentiment in the centre of that, you've got something incredibly beautiful and detailed already without trying anything. If you're brand new to card making and you are scared to death of the idea of going wrong, don't. You're already there. Carnation will hold your hand all the way through. You are always going to get beautiful designs from Carnation. It's what they do for us. It's why, you know, we get them each time, because we get something beautiful.
Do you know what as well? Carnation help you stand out from the crowd with your card makes. I mean, if you go to craft fairs, you know, there may be a half a dozen more people selling their cards on different tables, different stands. Carnation cards create attention. They will draw you, your customers. And of course, if you've got a pop-up in the middle of it, even more desirable as well, which is what this collection is going to give you. Taz?
I have to say, hand on heart, I've tried making cards through the years, being at CNC. I've never found it easier to make a card than with.
Good point, yeah.
And Miss Taz, when she says that, some of you were here, I think when we were, Taz did a card with the Christmas selection from this year, and she made an incredible card, and she'd never made a Carnation card before. Well, and I just left
Mark
her on
and
her
Nick
own.
and the gang, when, I mean, all three of us have worked together for many, many years now, but when I left my previous job where we worked together, they rang me up and they said, we love the passion that you've got for our Carnation crafts. Would you like to do the launch show every month of the new collections? Because we can see that you're passionate about it. I love Carnation because it's different, it's innovative, it's beautiful, and like Taz just said, you can't make a bad card. You really can't. It holds your hand every step of the way. And I know many of you watching actually have religiously bought every collection that Carnation have brought out. Not all of you, but some of you have. For that reason, you can't go wrong.
No. There's a confidence in it, right? Where you just feel like it doesn't really matter what I do, and that's a nice feeling. Right, let's play. You can see all the elements that I've got sitting here. Now, this is a huge part of the collection that I've got, so we're just missing really the shoes and the handbags at this stage. So what we're going to do is start building up that flow, and when this card is finished, I'm hoping it is just pretty as a picture. I love the bloom of it, and I love the fact that when I've got this sitting here, I can play away. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to start at the very top, and I'm going to start with the little facet spray and just allow this to bloom over the top of my card. Now, I'm very specifically only putting glue towards the bottom end of this because I want it to stand over the top of my card, just on an edge. So it doesn't matter how high I go with that because I only put glue at the bottom. I can choose where I want it to be, but I am choosing the center line of my stem and just allowing that to sit so that I know I've got it roughly central, and that means I can play with my shapings. So then I'm going to do the same on the other side, just to allow that to draw in. Again, focusing solely on the bottom edge of that facet spray. Now, there's a double edge to doing that. The first of all, I can choose the height, but second of all, it allows everything to roam free. Now, if that's sitting on a recipient's mantelpiece, for instance, and there's a light breeze, these will move, they will play, because I haven't push them completely down. They've got some freedom of movement, and that's a really beautiful part of Carnation. The dies are so fine, it will allow just for a little bit of movement in the cards, and that's super important and pretty.
I mean, that could be foliage, and indeed I think it's intended to be foliage, but also it looks a little bit like shards of ice, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Well, it's the glamour of winter, so, you know, it works in that sense. Now, we've got two different sizes of leaves with this. We've obviously got the main leaf, and then we've got the two smaller ones. And when we're building on height, it's often a real choice as to whether you'd have the larger ones at the bottom or the larger ones at the top. But I would, for me, I would want to make that choice and stick with it, if that makes sense. So if I'm going to have the smaller ones, I would have the two smaller ones at the top or the two smaller ones at the bottom, and keep them within the height frame. Because if I start changing them around, so if I keep a little one and a big one down here, and then I overweigh that at the other side above it, I'm going to lose the balance of my card. So I would rather have the two bigger ones and the two smaller ones kept together. That's just personal preference, but I do prefer it that way. So I'm going to keep the smaller ones towards the top and keep the heavier at the bottom, but I'm also going to keep them going out the same way if that makes sense. So they're both shaping out that way, just so I've got that flow of the card. Now, I don't want them that low down. They'll probably go to there. So I'll start to piece these down, and we'll start to build the picture of this kind of bouquet almost that works on this, uponst this leaf.
And don't forget, of course, if you are doing a little bit of festive shopping today and you're thinking about this collection, look at our website as well, because everyday essentials like the glue, for example, the glue applicators, the silicone mat that Carla's using in the demonstration, all the accessories and the extras that you need, foam pads, all that sort of thing, it'll be at carnationcrafts.co.uk. So not just this main collection, although that's what we're focusing on today, all your crafting essentials you'll find on the website as well.
I'm just going to add some more of these sprays. I love these sprays
Yeah,
so
I do.
much. Anything that gives me texture is a real asset to me, because I don't know, because to me I'm quite a tactile person in that way as well. I love the idea that I can touch the edge of the card. It's just pretty, right? Look at that.
It's coming
See how
together.
we're extending?
Yeah.
And it's just getting in that really beautiful shape. You don't have to do a lot with carnation. It's going to take care of you, not the other way around, and that's important. Right, now what I'm going to do here is take my corner flowers and just work out where I want those leaves to be, because I want the corner sort of to be down here. It won't be the lowest point, but it will be one of them. So I'm just going to raise those slightly higher, and all I'm doing on these is just a tiny little daub just above that stem before I commit to anything.
And the thing with glue is, especially the glue that you're seeing here, the everyday glue, the tiniest amount is all you need. If you put too much on, you're actually wasting it. The least amount of glue you need is the most effective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm working with the leaf shape, so you can see how I'm building those leaves into that leaf shape. So I'm not sort of all over the shop. I am using it in a specific way. And I know that I want this flower to be here, but I want it to stand up. Now I'm going to do that in two ways. The first of all is that I'm going to use pin flare on the main flower, and I'm not going to touch the leaves at the bottom. They're going to lie flat. I'm just going to pull it up slightly before I lay it.
So Pinflower is the name of the glue gel.
And I'm just going to pop that there so it sits upright, okay?
Yep.
And that's just going to give me a bit of oomph. And then I'm also going to go the extra notch and build up the layers of that flower head just with a little bit more pin flare, and I'm going to keep raising, and then I'm going to raise it one more time. Now you could cut into this to create specific decoupage layers. I'm not too worried about doing that. I'm quite happy with the height that I get from here, but it is an extra option for you. And I'm going to just give myself a huge whacking amount of dimension on that. And to me, that's already starting to look extraordinary, but let's play because it's my favourite thing to do. So, bouquet it up. My reds first. I've got a lot of purple working.
It looks a little bit kind of Game of Thrones-y,
Doesn't it?
with the shards going out of the sides, don't you think?
It does indeed. That's the joy, isn't it? It can be so many things. Right, I'm making some little pinched bouquets here with the berries. I'm going to steal a leaf, and I'm just going to do a little train of adhesive there. That's my tummy rumbling. I do apologise if you can hear it on the microwave.
You just eaten?
I know, I'm not hungry. I think it's just, I think it's attacking the jacket potato that I ate.
Oh, okay.
Just so you all know. And I've got the little flower. Look at that.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Perfect. Same again with the white. So again, that brooch making that we were talking about earlier in the show, where you're just pinching these together to create those lovely little brooches, and then you can work out to put these together somewhere specific on your cards. Sometimes it's easier when you're first learning to make cards. Sometimes it's easier if you can bunch a couple of pieces together like this to be able to then see where you're going from there.
And do a dummy run. Do it without glue to start off with. See what it looks like, and then stick it together if you're happy with it.
Absolutely. Where did that go?
A little bit of glossy accents or glossy highlights, if you've got that, to give it a lovely shine, would look good on the berries, or a bit of glitter on the berries maybe too.
Just different ways of playing.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. So we've got that there. I'm just going to pinch that through. So a little bit more glue on the bottom so that I know I've got the adhesion that's working. So now I've got two pinched pieces, and I can go two different ways with this. I can either build height, so have one in front of the other and just sort of build it down, or I can build dimension. And that's what I'm going to be doing.
Okay.
But it's up to you how you wish to craft. But I think that's so pretty. I think it's ridiculous. Now I'm going to tuck it into this point where those leaves are, so I've got the height going there. I could have pinched the pin flare from underneath, but I won't. I will just lift this forward because I want that to sit upright. Hide those leaves behind that main flower at the front. Look how beautiful that is. Same thing again here. We're lifting, raising, just pop them in. You can vary the height slightly. Just give it that umph. Look at this coming
Stunning,
together.
absolutely stunning.
And then your final piece, I just want to just add a little extra at the bottom. And the way I'm going to do that is to take this leaf formation, use my scissors, snip the ends, just pinching them out, and then I'm just going to push those leaves in half. You've got a natural cut line there that allows us to shape, and we can look at all that beautiful shaping that we can do with that. Is that pretty?
Beautiful.
And it's just the different ways of using the dies, because they're done in such a way that they're there for us to sculpt and play.
And the lovely thing is you can print all that artwork off right now if you want to at carnationcrafts.co.uk. And remember, today you're not just getting one colourway, which you would normally get with a collection, you're actually getting an extra colourway free to print off on the website carnationcrafts.co.uk. But look at that, that is just something, it really is.
So we're creating height, we create dimension, we create that sense of formation of it kind of growing outwards, and it's so pretty and so lovely. And I love the fact that we can get these blooms. You've got these gorgeous extra elements, these kind of snow elements that come out that give us the idea of that frosted snowflake or something along those lines. Those beautiful, look at the dimension, or the detail on those berries, sorry, they're so clever.
Now, let me remind you of exactly what you're going to get in the collection today. Remember, this is the last one on Carnation Crafts TV exclusive launch before next year. So it's the last one before Christmas. There'll be other shows, of course, before Christmas, but this is the last launch, the December launch. We do one a month, every month, that's exclusive to our own TV channel. And of course, we were saying earlier on that we really do hope that you actually subscribe to us on YouTube as well. It's free to do that. There's no money or anything like that involved, and we don't get all your details or anything like that. It just means that if you click where the, did you say it was an alarm bell, little bell?
There's a little,
on
yeah,
YouTube.
there's a tiny little
If you just
bell.
tap that, that will then alert you to whenever we're doing something, or Carla's doing something, or Dawn, or whoever it may be, so that you're not going to miss anything going forward. But have a little look at these dies. This is what you get in the entire collection. You've got your deep winter foliage dies that you can see here with your berries and your leaves that Carla was using a few minutes ago. Then you've got the heart of the collection with all the matting and layering dies as well, that massive, beautiful oak leaf. Then the other leaves around it as well. Next to that, you've got the pop-up mechanism. First time this has been available, it's in the bundle today. So you won't use you won't make a pop-up card every single time you make a card, but it's there for you, and it will work in any cards that you're actually making. Then you've got the crystallized wisp, which is just here, very snippable, and again, it can be all sorts of different things. I saw wings when I saw that. You'll probably see something else. Then down the bottom, one of the most impressive is actually that spray. Now, when you see it, you kind of think to yourself, what am I going to do with that? But you saw how Carla worked with that on that card, and it looks so dramatic, so kind of Game of Thronesy, as I said. And then you come on to the glamour side of it, because you've got the beautiful decorative high-heeled shoes, and also the handbags, and those stunning corners as well. So you've got those, you've got the clematis, you've got the honeysuckle, and you've also got the anemone as well. The whole collection should be $162.92. Today it's $124.99, but you're only paying that if you don't use the promo code. If you use the promo code, which is GOWCC10, GOWCC10, put that in the promo box at checkout on the website, and you'll have £12.50 knocked off and no P&P charge to pay whatsoever. ClearPay is available for you as well, and also PayPal Pay in 3 if you want to use the interest-free payment option. And I know a lot of you are going for the perfect papers as well at the same time. 48 sheets, all colour matched with the artwork, the vignettes that lots of you are printing off right now from our website. So 48 sheets, you get 6 colours, 8 of each, and they just work so well with the artwork. And the artwork is there, bonus colours for you today at no extra charge. You've also got background papers and inserts on there that you can print off as well at the same time. We recommend Pro paper for your printing, because that's going to give you the best possible results. And you've got vignettes, single-sided and double-sided to print off as well at the same time. And while you're on the website, check out all those crafting essentials, everyday glue, the glue applicators that are half price. They should not be $4.99, but they are. That's a mistake, but take advantage of it. They should be $9.99. And things like the silicone mat and all the other accessories that you need, that you love from Carnation, they're all there for pre-Christmas delivery. We'll dispatch it straight away. The guys at Carnation, they literally get your order. The second that they get your order, they're picking it and they're packing it and they're dispatching it. You should get an email saying it's on its way within a couple of hours of placing your order. That's how quick and how reliable they are at Carnation, which is great.
They're pretty corking.
They're pretty cool.
They're pretty corking.
Yeah.
So the things that we haven't looked at today, and I do want to try and cover as much of the collection as we can because it's stunning and I want you to see as much of it as we can. But we haven't covered the concentric ovals, and we also haven't really seen a handbag yet. We've seen a shoe, but we haven't seen a handbag. So let's play. Here are your ovals. Look at the I love an oval anyway. There's something about ovals.
It's one of the hardest shapes to get right, isn't it, an oval?
You can't hand draw an oval.
No.
It's impossible to hand draw an oval. But when you get one that's slightly elongated like this one, I love them so much. I love a slim oval. There's something about them. I've got two. When we're creating anything that's circular or oval, obviously it's going to roll over. When you make it, you have to cut a piece off the bottom. The best piece of advice I can give you when you're trying to cut that bottom edge, because believe me, I get it wrong every time. If you're anything like me, it's a pain. The best way I can tell you to do it, cut the bottom off first, and then wedge that up against your scoreboard, and that means you can get your score straight. Your score is always going to be the correct way for what you've cut. If you do it the other way, then you do what I do and it just falls over. Okay. It's just easier to do it the other way. Cut, then score. So once you've got them, I'm just going to take this away. I can't see again.
Goggles on.
At some point, I'm just going to have to admit I'm old, Dave. The time has come. It's upon me as
you
we
and me
speak.
both.
I know, kid. We'll be going.
And that spring chicken Taz in the corner chuckling away.
Spring chicken, just she who laughs last laughs longer. I don't think that works in this scenario. Right, I'm just going to place that there, and then I'm going to go from there and start to add mats and layers. Now, all the cards that we've done today have been quite pared back. This time I'm going to, sort of, not pared back, busier. I'm going to pare this one back. I'm going to strip it back. Let's do something that's really simple and very clean, a very clean, elegant line on this. So I'm going to take these ovals. I'm just going to remove the finger lift tape.
Karen Vincent says, beautiful card, Carla. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you, Karen.
Stunning.
That's kind. So I'm just going to place this on best I can. Look at these. Look. It's like a mirror.
I love that colour too.
Isn't it beautiful? Yeah. Their ability, or Nick's ability, or the team's ability to pick colours that work is better than anybody else's I've ever seen, regardless of whether that's craft or not. They have got a knack for picking colours. It's so beautiful to watch.
And colour can actually cheapen something if they don't get it right. The colours of Carnation and what they use just enriches the card, makes it look so classy and so sophisticated.
There's no brass in Carnation.
No.
Look at that.
Perfect.
I love it. It's so pretty and so clean. Right, from there we're just going to go in with one more layer. This one is white. I'm cooling those tones. If I start to place this on here, it pops, but I lose some tonal value within the handbag, and I lose tonal value from the backing papers. So I'm more inclined to cool those tones. What I want to do is show this colour off.
Right.
If I leave it where it is and I add to it, I detract from the colour that I'm getting from the perfect papers, because I'm drawing attention away from it to the insert. This then, the handbag starts to steal colour from the outside, and that starts to steal colour from the handbag, and we create a kind of a just sort of a mudded tone almost. Think of your colour wheel. If you're going to add in purples to, say, something that's got a brown tone, you're going to muddy your tones, and so it's just thinking about your colourway. So what I'll do first is cool that down, and I'm just going to pop this with that beautiful sentiment, thinking of you. Pretty, right?
Yeah.
Now, Carnation. This is where we take Carnation and we go, this is why I love Carnation. And I'll be quick with this, but it's a very valid point. I've got that sitting there as it is. Okay, ignore the extra elements.
You can see the difference that white layer makes,
Doesn't
now.
it?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can see what I mean about the
Yeah,
colours,
absolutely.
stealing colour from colour. If I place that there, if I was to pin flare that onto there, that's a really pretty card. Done. If you're an absolute beginner, you're done. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's an amazing card as it is. Alternatively, done.
Yeah.
We don't need to over worry with Carnation. If you think, well, I'd like a bit more than that, you go for your life, kid.
And do you know what? It's also a card for any occasion, happy or sad.
Yeah.
It's ticking all the boxes, isn't it?
Of course it is. Sometimes with Carnation, because the artwork is so strong, it depends what you want to do. Whether you want to build a scene with the things that you've got, or whether you want to kind of make that artwork your artwork. So if I want to just, if I see, like for instance, this handbag is such a strong colour and it's so beautiful. To me, the value, I would put that, if I was doing that just on its own, I would put it on foam tape. But the value of having that on that white background just with the sentiment above it is so modern and so fresh and so vivid. It's perfect for anybody. If I want to make it more of a classic card as opposed to a modern card, that's when I start adding the other elements to it. So it's about freshening up kind of the view and the tone that we've got of what we're working with. So I hope that makes sense.
And also, if you are a novice and you're kind of playing with the composition of a card, not quite sure what's going to work and what isn't, if I show you here, this is actually done by Vera Bow. She's got a lot going on here, but probably started off without sticking it down first, just placing it there to see what looks good, what looks best where, move that to the left, move that to the right or whatever. So, you know, have a little play. Don't be daunted by it. All you've got to do quite simply is place the elements down. When you're happy, then stick them. Don't stick them thinking, does that look right or not? Just place it before you actually kind of commit to it and stick it down. I'm just showing you some more finished cards here as well. This is a double easel from Janine Dawson. So another fantastic card here. Absolutely stunning. But remember, this collection today is giving you the pop-up element on the inside as well. So this one is actually a double pop-up, okay? And this was by Janine as well. So both pop-ups kind of meet in the center. It reminds me a little bit of like a Venus flytrap. Do you remember those? Do you remember those plants? Because it kind of meets in the center. Really, really lovely. So you get that three-dimensional centerpiece in the middle of that card. Just stunning cards, stunning collection. And remember, if you do want the pop-up mechanism individually, it is available for $17.99, I think it was. Is that right? Yeah, $17.99, but it is going very fast. So if you're thinking, oh, that's all I want, well, it is on the website for you. You can order that if you wish, plus your P&P of £2.95.
Is my mic dodgy, Miss Taz? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
You're muted.
Am I muted?
Not now. You were.
You were muted.
Did you do that on purpose? She would like to do that in real life if
You can
she
never
could.
mute Carla Bagshaw.
There's no Bagshaw mutation. Oh, there might be a Bagshaw
Trust me,
mutation.
I
We all have, including me. It's the ADHD, it never turns off. Right, what I'm doing here is framing out my sentiment at the top. So what I'm doing is spanning that way. Hello, Humberta, how you doing, lovely face? So I'm just spanning outwards that way. And so because I want to tuck in my leaves, now on every other demo that I've done so far, I've put my leaves just spanning that way, which are so pretty, aren't they? But I want to bring them in. That's so pretty. It's like butterfly wings. I want to hug them. So I'm going to bring them in their original way. And I'm going to hug them at the bottom, okay? So I'm just bringing that forward. I'm going to use a tiny little bit of pin flare. I'm not too worried about height, but I do want the adhesion from them.
I'm seeing a lot of wings in virtually everything. The prongs at the top could be wings. The leaves could be wings. The beautiful wisp that we showed you, the crystallized wisp. Again, I saw angel's wings when I looked at that. So they're very graceful. All these dies, all these shapes.
Can you remember Willow the Wisp?
Yes.
I used to love Willow.
Kenneth Williams.
It was Kenneth Williams. And I loved it. Right, now all I'm going to do here, and it's really simple. This is such a pared back card. So we've got your two facet sprays. I've got my two leaves. I'm going to put two berries in. Now what I'm doing is creating two hands, essentially, that are holding the bag. I'm cuddling the bag, okay? And so I'm creating those hands as we speak. which I can't think of a better way of framing that or framing what I'm trying to say.
I get what you mean though.
I'll pop this here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my two hands. I'm ready to cradle the bag. What I want to do then is just add in this. I want to cover up my bottom working just so that it's not sort of the main display point. I'll add some pin flare to give a rise to that. Place that over just on that straight edge. Look how glorious that is.
Mm-hmm.
And then your final pièce de résistance, and this will go in flat. I'm not going to add any height to it. I am just going to add a little bit of wet glue, but I don't want to detract from what I've made already. You'll notice that I put everything on pretty much with pin flare, and that's because now I need to raise it to stick my handbag in. I can put it on top, which would be lovely. I can choose just to raise the floral piece if I can grab hold of it with my ridiculous fingers and place it through, or I can tuck it underneath all. What I am going to do is just go just so it's under the berries and above that spray. Tuck it down. Try
Alexis
to wriggle
says,
everything.
brilliant card. Hi everyone from Alexis. Hi Alexis, thank you for tuning in. Thankfully you love this card. All the cards that Carla's made today are just exquisite. You cannot make a bad card with Carnation Crafts dies or products. You really can't.
My skill level at card making is no better than anybody's at home. What I do have as an advantage, as do you who have bought these, is Carnation. They are the advantage when we're card making. But this is so simple and so pretty, so fresh and so pared back. So it depends which way you want to go. You can touch, you know, a modern touch, or you can take it to those sort of classic levels. It depends where you want to build it. But to me, that's so fresh and so completely different to some of the other cards as well that we've seen in this collection.
Am I allowed a favourite?
We could put, you play where you go favourites.
I love that one, but I absolutely adore this card. Now, Carla did this in the last show.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you want to see how to do this particular card, this was done in our 12 o'clock show, which you can watch back on YouTube, or you can watch back, of course, on Facebook as well. How to make that card, stunning, isn't it? Absolutely beautiful. Look at the dimension you've got on that.
So to talk very quickly, if you missed the last show when I did make this card, I realise the leaf's just fallen out, but that's the craftsmanship you get from me. The leaf that you've got at the bottom was shaped out. So the main leaf, that main focal point from the frosted oak card shape, so you can just see up there where it's got a shape on it, and you can see where it's been glued at the edge. What that does is where you've got that piece, it's lifting everything forward, it's giving me dimension, it's allowing my card to rise at the bottom to create a different kind of depth in those layers, and then we can literally transform the front of a card so it all sits proud and forward, but nothing, because it's Carnation, looks out of place, because if I turn it to a side that way, if I turn it to a side that way, it doesn't matter. I've used double-sided vignettes, and so everything is smooth.
And remember, you can watch that show back. That originally got broadcast at 12 o'clock lunchtime today. You can watch that back on YouTube. And also the earlier show at 9 a.m. this morning, you can watch that back. And that will feature an in-depth demonstration as to how to make your pop-up pop-up. And in other words, this. Janine, what a great card that is. But how does the pop-up work? How do you actually put it into your card? Provided your card has got a crease down the center of it, you can have a pop-up in any card that you're making, not just a Carnation card, but any card you've got. And think about the things you can put on pop-ups. You could put it in pictures of yourself or the family or your animals. You could put the little mice in as pop-ups as well, maybe from previous collections as well. All you have to do is go to our website to order this today, which is carnationcrafts.co.uk. Make sure you pop in the discount code, because without that you'll get charged £124.99. I don't want you paying that today. I want you to save that £12.50. It's GOWCC10. GOWCC10. That is the promo code that will get you £12.50 off, and it's free P&P if you're watching us in the UK as well. And check out all those other crafting essentials that Carnation bring for last minute Christmas, maybe under tree presents for Christmas. We will get this to your door in the next few days. All the vignettes are available on the website. You can print those off in 2 different colorways, not 1, 2 different colorways. An extra bonus from Carnation today as a thank you. And you can also print off backing papers and inserts as well. I think we've got enough time to do one more quick card.
I'm going to sly in an extra demo
Right.
because I can. I think I might be missing a bit of my perfect paper on the front of this. I am the sloppiest crafter in the world, I swear down. Right, let's just take this. I'm using my perfect papers here and pulling that down. I've got an 8x8 and I've put my card base together already. You've seen how I've done that a million times already, so I'll just leave it there. We're going to ignore the chink that's come out of my perfect paper as I pulled that from my bag.
Have you got a favourite size of card you like to make?
Me? I tend to favour the card bases more. So I love the petite ones, and I love my favourite card bases. I don't know if I'm actually allowed to say that. Am I? My favourite card base that Carnation have ever done is the iron ringlet set. That's just my personal preference. We've all got different ones. That's my favourite. There is a card there. Can you just pass that one? That's my look at this. Oh. I'm sorry, guys. I'm allowed favourites. Here we go. If I do it on, look at that.
Oh, I can see why.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love the textural component to it.
But size-wise, are you an 8x8 person, 7x7, 6x6? DL?
I tend to be either 8x8 being my favourite or the tiny dinks. I either like doing really small cards or the much bigger ones. It depends kind of what mood I'm in, to be honest. To me, it's never really the size of the card that I'm making so much as what the end result is. And that entirely depends on my mood. So if I'm in a scatty mood, which is usually more often than not, I tend to go for the very busy cards. If I'm feeling more pared back myself, I tend to go for the very minimal cards. It just depends kind of which frame of mind I'm in. For me, more than anything else, crafting has to be a safe space for me, and I have to know that it doesn't matter. I have to know that I can fail. I have to know that there is no failure.
I mean, there is no right, there is no wrong. You know, everyone makes cards in a different way, playing, using the brilliant tools that Carnation gives you and the perfect paper, so you haven't got to worry about colour matches or anything like that. It's just one less thing to concern yourself with, and just look forward to making an amazing card.
Yeah, I don't like pressure when I'm making cards. I like to sort of sit and think, what do I want this to look like? And that goes the same for this. So we're going to piece some panels. This is your backing papers. Place these through, and I've just chomped to the corners as we were talking about earlier. I'm quite into this at the minute. I think you might start to see a few more with some chomped corners. I like those rounded edges.
Yeah, I do too.
I'm just going to place that down. Little sentiment on this piece. Hey.
I've just realised, you know, I'm not going to see you now until January after this show. I know. Well, thank you all for watching, and have a happy Christmas from me to you, but I will be back in January, that's for sure.
You best be.
I will be.
There'll be trouble.
Try keeping me away.
I can't. We tried locking the door,
Tried locking
Dave.
the door, but it didn't work.
So we're just going to pop that on there. So already we've built something pretty, but then let's just build. So this is super quick because we don't have a huge amount of time for the demonstration. This leaf, I can do so much with it. I love this. I can put it upright and have it going over the top. I can just sit it slightly over, or I can do it right in the corner, which is what I'm going to do. I love that spray where it just comes off the edge of my card. And the reason for that is obviously we change the corner of one part of our card. The rest of it stays the same, but I'm changing one element, and it changes the visual effect of the card at the end of it. So a little bit of wet glue down that stem, not too much, and then more so at the bottom here, just to make sure that doesn't slip or move. The rest of it I'm free flowing, just slightly over the top on there. Look at that. Pretty,
stunning,
right?
Isn't it? Beautiful.
I mean, that is already beautiful. This is a super quick demo, just so you all know, because we are running out of time, but I do just want to piece one more together, and I'm doing something fresh.
Although I'm not going to be here until January now, there's loads more shows to look out for on Carnation Crafts TV with Carla and various other...
Got the lovely Sharon as well this week.
Don't we love Sharon? I was so chuffed to hear that Sharon had joined.
I love Sharon.
I love Sharon too.
She's just a good human being.
Thank you, Suzanne, for wishing me happy Christmas. You too, and to all of your family and everybody watching. Look at that.
Have you got an advent calendar, Dave?
I haven't.
Dave.
Do you know what? My mum and dad, my mum and dad are in their 80s, and up until last year they always got me an advent calendar, but I don't think they've been able to get out to get one this year.
Oh, bless them. I told my dad he best be thinking of disowning me if there was no selection box this Christmas. And he said I could change my name by default.
You got about 4 or 5 downstairs, I saw. So
That's advent calendars for the children.
ah, okay.
The thing is, when you have children, they all get loads of advent calendars and selection boxes, and all the grown-ups. So your parents stop buying them for you, and they just buy them for the children. And somehow I am bereft. So my father said he would buy me a selection box.
Ah, fantastic.
We'll see. He's usually very good at buying Easter eggs. Where did I put that? Let's put that underneath. Just tuck it hidden.
Well, I'm just so glad, and we all are, that you've loved this collection so much. You think about glamour, you think about glamorous shoes, glamorous handbags. That's what it's all about, the glamour of winter. If you've got some Christmas parties coming up, maybe you've gone out and bought some new shoes recently, treat yourself to a new handbag, or maybe you're getting one for Christmas. It's a big deal for a lot of people, handbags and shoes. Just ask Dawn Wheeler.
Have you ever, honestly, if you're going to Wheeler's Wardrobe, it's like a magical mystery tour. I just avoid it. She says, do you want to come to the lockup? And I'm like, you're going to buy me a chocolate bar and then I'll watch you. That's how that goes.
Oh, look at that. Stunning.
Sometimes with Carnation, it's always going to be the case that less is more, and that you will create more of a striking element by using a white background, because Nick and the team create such strong artwork, and it's so beautiful to look at. And your white cards, your white on white, that's going to lend itself every single time to Carnation. That's the power of the artwork they provide.
Remember, today you're getting not just a 10% discount by putting GOWCC10 in the promo box, you're also going to get an extra bonus colour of the vignettes that you can send and print off right now. You can enjoy that artwork right now, complimentary, free of charge. So just go to carnationcrafts.co.uk, that's where you'll see the artwork. If you want the perfect papers, the 300 GSM cardstock, that's available as well in the colorways that really do kind of complement this collection beautifully. And don't forget, for the first time, you've got a pop-up mechanism in this collection as well. That's available separately on the website if you want that too. Thank you to all the design team. Thank you, Taz, in the corner over there. Thank you, Carla.
Talo.
Talo.
I'm back tomorrow at some point.
You're back at 10 a.m.
Okay.
Yeah, another look at this tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. It's on the idiot board there.
Thanks.
It's all right.
I found it now.
And I will see you in about a month's time. Thank you ever so much again for putting up with me today, and have a fantastic Christmas and New Year. And I think I'm back about the 6th of January.
Aw, don't go, Dave.
I can stay if you want.
You stay, Dave.
Thanks for watching. Tune in tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock. See you.